Welcome back, Bourbon Barkeep, Curtis.
Noah, great to be here, man, as always.
Well, we try not to timestamp, but this time we're going to purposely timestamp ourselves.
Yeah, it's March Madness, man. This is March. It's here, as John Rothstein would say.
We are doing kind of a little twist to it, to where instead of doing a bracket of 64 down to 32, even though the 64 would be entertaining for everybody but us.
Yeah, I'd have to crash here. I wouldn't be able to make it home that night, but...
we're kind of doing like a conference championship, if you will.
Yeah, so we have four contestant brackets, if you will.
Yes.
One each week. So this week, Beam.
We got Jim Beam. You have the Buffalo Trace Conference.
Yep.
We have the Heaven Hill Conference. And any good March Madness tournament has Cinderellas.
That's correct, yeah. So that fourth week, it's basically just 4 wild cards, I guess, if you want to call them that. Cinderellas, yeah. We can use Cinderellas.
They're the smaller distillers that are looking for a shot at the dance.
Yeah, there's no umbrella for them to fall under. And yeah, I mean, I would not be shocked if that week 4 bracket took it all the way to the house. I wouldn't be shocked. I
mean, these are your Cinderellas. You can't have a good March without a Cinderella.
Correct.
You got your Norfolk State.
Yeah. You have George Mason from way back in the day, like 05 or something like that.
All right, so we'll give a little history on Jim Beam Distillery, and then we'll get into a blind. I'm going to highlight at least what we have. We didn't do the entire distillery for reasons that we've already said. On top of, I don't want to buy all of them.
Yeah, self-explanatory.
Yeah. All right, so we got James Beam, a.k.a. Jim.
Jimothy.
Jim. Is that real?
That's from The Office.
So essentially, they had stuff going on pre-prohibition. Like most distilleries, had to shut it down a little bit. But Jim came out here and rebuilt the entire family business in 120 days. He recreated the family business in 120 days at the age of 70.
Wow.
It's just a different man back in those days.
Yeah.
Like I look at the pictures of what men were.
Barrel-chested.
And I look at me.
That's
and
right.
I'm like,
never lifted a weight day in their life, but somehow just strong men.
Chiseled jawlines.
Exactly.
Yeah. So James, Jimothy, he went for it.
Sure. 120 days.
So then kind of going down some of the family line, Frederick, there's an E in there. Frederick Booker, No. 2, was the first Beam Master Distiller with the last name No.
N-O-E, I believe, correct?
N-O-E.
Yeah. Where the lovely Booker's branch of that umbrella comes from.
So the last Beam that was kind of involved in the distillery was, what was his name? T. Jeremiah.
Goodness,
They also had different names back then as well.
These like Amish sounding folk.
T. Jeremiah, he was like, hey, I don't have any kin. What are you doing, Frederick? And he apparently had some talent because he was the master distiller.
They struck gold, if you will.
So then, like a George Foreman type of bloodline, if you will, Fred No. the Third is the current master distiller, and Freddie No. 4 is over Little Book.
The fourth, okay.
Who is next in line, most likely, for master distiller.
Sure.
So we'll talk about these 4 bottles very quick. So we got Knob 9. This was created in 1992.
Wow.
Not this exact bottle, because that would be more than 9 years.
That'd be like the Knob 35.
But they at least launched Knob Creek 9 in 92.
So a while now, yeah.
Been a while. They did away with an age statement and then recently brought it back.
Okay.
So you got the Knob 12, born in 2020.
Aforementioned, yeah. Really? That's not that long ago.
Yeah. And like I feel like people kind of soured on 12 like right off the bat, and maybe it was just trauma.
Could be.
Like
rough year to come out with something.
And it's tough to drink through a mask. So these are going to be part of the lower mash bills of what Jim Beam is actually offering. Going to the higher mash bill, or higher rye mash bill, I should say, is going to be your Old Granddad 114.
Lovely.
Do you know who Old Granddad is?
Yeah, I can only guess he's a grandfather of one of the men you mentioned.
You would have thought. Basil Hayden Sr. Basil Hayden Sr. was actually known for having a higher rye mash bill than in those times.
Okay.
So they kind of stuck to that standard with
the Old Granddad 114.
Mr. Basil Hayden.
Yeah.
And Basil Hayden, the line is actually higher rye. And then the Baker 7 is going to be our last bottle in contention for this bracket. That was named after Baker Beam, and they established Baker 7 in 92.
So again, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Is that the same year as the 9?
Yeah.
Wow. Big year for them.
Just a couple small batches.
Yeah, big year for them.
Yeah.
And so what, if you remind me, what basically bracketed these 4 together as far as like similarities go? I'm assuming proof between probably 100, 115 proof, similar mash bills, if you will, considering this is a little higher rye, but.
So as the people know, like we've done some Bookers, we've done Little Book. We thought about doing kind of the giants, but the barrel proofs, chances are going to take it. So we wanted to bring it together a little bit more.
Sure. And the stuff that comes out, 2, 3, 4 times a year, like your Bookers and stuff, it kind of depends on the batch, So
yes,
as far as non-batches go, like these 4 stuck out for sure.
Yes. But what we tried to do was keep a certain price point. So I think everything, when it all was said and done, was 85 and under.
For the entire March Madness, correct?
For every bracket. Yeah. So there was only one bottle that really knocked our price up that high. And then our proof is going to be 115 and under.
Gotcha.
And Old Granddad is the highest.
Top of the, top of the limit. Okay, cool.
So that's how we brought everybody together. We'll restate that in the coming weeks as well. But ultimately, we wanted some type of consistency on price, availability. Definitely played a factor into this. So what distillery comes out on top come the big dance in April?
Yeah. As we always do, start with the left hand. We've previously shuffled these up, so I do not know my right from my left, or my middle for that matter.
Just figure it out.
Yeah. So starting with the left hand, and then gradually moving to the right. To you, man.
To you.
Just wanted to get a quick little sniff. Yeah, this is March, as John Rothstein would say.
And while you sniff, so there's not a ton of dead air, like, subscribe. This is the earliest we've ever done this.
Up there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always 20 minutes at the end of the video, and nobody ever sees it.
No one ever
I don't think anybody lasts that long, no.
Nope. They go to the results, and I do the same thing.
Okay. This reminds me of a Beam product.
That's safe. I feel like that's really safe.
That's safe, yeah.
So this is interesting because you kind of know what you're talking or what you're looking for, knowing the distillery at least. Right now, I don't get a ton of nut.
No. I get almost like a dried blueberry.
Yeah, this is going sweet to where I was going to go like cherry, like heavy cherry syrup.
Yeah. Yeah, I get your almost like a cherry pie filling that just thick.
Yeah,
or I'm thinking more blueberry, but like that thick pie filling almost.
At this point, both of us are just sitting at IHOP having a kid's pancake
with the powdered sugar on top.
I'm starting to get a touch more oak on it. The more it kind of opens up a bit. All of these have been open, so they aren't fresh cracks, which is nice. But yeah, none of them.
This is a strong finish.
Please tell the people.
Yeah, that is a strong finish. Not a ton of viscosity, but it lasts into the chest, probably more so than I had anticipated just by the nose, because it's not sharp or hot at all on the nose.
Yeah, it's interesting. It almost coats the top of the mouth rather than the tongue.
Yeah.
Like I get a little zing right at the tip.
Just maybe put your tongue in a different spot when you're... Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's on you.
Yeah, I get just a bite of cinnamon and then immediately kind of a rush of oak. The nuts definitely start to come through.
The oak is way more prevalent on the palate, yeah. I didn't get much at all on the nose.
Yeah, I would agree with you. The nut finally shows up. Definitely a little more oak, maybe some barrel char in there. Enjoyed the IHOP experience. I say that like I got waffles at maple. Maybe it's in there a little bit, but that cherry on the pancake, fake syrup, I enjoyed it.
Sure. I mean, yeah, for knowing that the highest price point in these 4 is what, $70? Like that's a pretty good bourbon for at most $70.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tell you what.
Kind of a similar nose, just maybe a little bit watered down almost.
Yeah, I would get a little bit more raspberry instead of the cherry. Like there's a touch
tartness.
of tart.
Yeah.
Ooh, now the peanut's coming through.
Is it?
Yeah. This is easily one of the more frustrating things about like whiskey reviews and tasting is you're sitting here trying to squeeze it into 16 minutes. And like the longer you're here, the more you kind of pick up and just the more it changes, whether it's in your hand.
Sure.
But now, I mean, it's like thick peanut butter. Still a touch of raspberry.
Yeah, especially on the palate. It's like a peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, your watered down nose is a little bit on the palate as well. But I'm with you, like peanut. Like I would even take out the butter at this point. Like peanut.
Yeah, it's like to me, it's like a PB&J. Like I still get that fruity, like jamminess.
I even get the bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's good. I think I enjoy glass one a touch more.
Agree. A little different though, which is cool.
Yeah. That is vastly different nose.
Yeah.
The rye comes through a bit more to where when we were talking about the mash bill, my mind starts to jump to the higher rye mash bill. I've made mistakes in the past.
You have,
where
just
I'm
as
going
recently
to-
as last week.
I'm just going to keep myself off the ledge. I'm not going to predict, but
I'm having trouble picking something up in here.
yeah, I get a lot of rye spice to where I get the tea, a little bit of mint.
Yeah, the only thing I think I'm getting is that like oak. And it's not crazy oaky. I'm having trouble picking out something else.
Peanut and a little bit of ethanol. Like this one's the hardest one to kind of dip my nose in.
Yeah. Definite nuttiness on the finish for sure. That bitter, almost like a bitter almond.
That's really smooth. Yeah, I think that bitterness may be the barrel char, but yeah, I mean,
That's my least favorite of the three, and it's not necessarily close.
yeah, I really enjoyed the nose. Like, I think it has a nice spice to it. I wish I can get a little bit more, but it is falling a little flat, and it's even more flat on the tongue.
I'm happy with this bottle if it's $30, and my main intent is to make it with like cocktails, like an old fashioned or.
It's not mouth coating. Like I only feel it just directly down the middle of the tongue.
That's a good mixing whiskey for sure.
Yeah, pretty unimpressed so far. I think we may have the same 1 through 3, which I would be bitter if we went through the whole tournament like that. Wow,
This
that
is like a
milk chocolate.
I was gonna say this is like a Snickers, but it's super heavy on the caramel. It's like a
Yes.
ton of caramel,
Yeah,
like almost like a butterscotch.
like you crushed it. Like it's a Twix. Like I don't really get a ton of peanut, but there's so much caramel, a little bit of chocolate, but it goes to a very rich caramel to where I could. If you told me butterscotch, I would believe you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm impressed by the nose for sure.
I'm drinking a Twix at this point.
Delightful finish
That
too.
is so much chocolate. Coats the mouth great.
You get the peanut more now, because I do.
Slightly, like I would have to be really searching for it.
Man,
I would like to go second sip on this one because I think that would do the peanuts some justice. But it is sweet and oaky and viscous and
yeah, like all
nice finish.
all the good things for sure. So our plan was first run through what you just saw, kind of taking our time, talking about notes, talking about the nose, the palate, the finish, the whole 9 yards. Second time through, we're just going to speed it up. You and I will grade. We're going to just average our scores together out of 100 for each bottle. That way we're not dealing with, differing brackets or anything like that. We need to kind of continue with the same bottle moving forward. So what we're going to do is pick a winner out of these 4, and that bottle will be automatically advancing to the final 4 the first week of April.
absolutely.
So,
Excited for them.
okay, cool. Stay tuned. We're going to take a quick second sip, make sure we, have our thoughts in order and
Gotta
grade,
revisit. Yeah.
and then we'll discuss after. Okay, so the 4 bottles we went through a second time, made sure we had our ducks in a row. They have been graded by you and I. They have been averaged by me and my mental math.
On your revisit, does it annoy you, shock you how much they change from that first sip, not only to the second, but just...
It doesn't necessarily annoy me. I almost like kind of appreciate it. It does make it more difficult of a job for you and I when we're sitting here trying to put together a 20-minute video. And, 30 minutes later, post-show, we're having the same bourbon and it's completely different.
Why does it taste like
what
bubble
the
gum?
hell did we just taste? But that's just part of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of cool how half hour changes quite a bit. So, okay. So without further ado, like I said, we averaged our scores together, just 0 to 100.
Yep.
And the winner of the 4 is going to go on to the final 4 in, well, it's still Kansas City, I guess. So in 4th place was glass number 3. We probably could have guessed that, judging by just our first immediate reactions, and that is...
Baker 7.
Baker 7. Shit. No, it's not shit, but it's very, very average. I wasn't extremely impressed, neither were you. There was nothing really to it.
I'll go glass half full to where it was an easy sipper.
Like I said,
problem was,
it's a great cocktail bourbon.
It was unmemorable, and then us not doing bang for the buck, that's where I probably would have taken my swings at it. Yeah, just it's unmemorable is the problem.
Like I said, that's because it's going to go great in an old fashioned. But if I'm putting that in the glass by itself, I'm pretty unimpressed. But anyway, moving on. 3rd place out of the 4 with a decent score of 76 average. It's going to be glass number 2.
2, okay.
And that is the Knob 9.
Knob 9, very good at $40. Definitely a buy. Felt like it had a great complexity to it.
Sure. You said during our little sped up portion that if 1 and 2 were switched, like you might have been a little more generous. It's coming from glass 1 to glass 2, it was a step down for I think both of us. So it didn't do itself any favors by just being in that second slot, if you will. It's like a horse that gets trapped on the inside, you can't really do anything about it. But
what happens to a horse on the inside?
You don't watch any horse racing?
No.
A horse can get boxed in on the inside. And
oh, I thought you meant like emotionally.
No.
Ooh.
All right, moving on.
Wow.
Okay,
I was worried.
Since we have our 4th and 3rd place uncovered, we're just going to skip to our 1st place winner with an average score of 80.5, which falls into the great to fantastic category.
Yeah.
If you've been following us, we have categories. So this is a great bourbon, and that is glass number 1.
Glass 1.
It's going to be Knob 12.
It makes me feel good. It makes me respect 114
I was going to say,
more.
it almost makes me like 114 more because Knob 12 is double the price. And if we knew that, obviously we didn't due to the whole blind.
Which we should. Yeah,
due to the whole blind aspect. Like that is a fantastic bourbon.
Very, very good. It's really tough to beat the complexity and probably the age and the maturity of what that 12-year is.
Yeah. As you said, just the age kind of shows the complexity, the depth of the bourbon.
The depth is exactly what it is at this point. That's why, at least for my scoring, it scored higher than the 114. It just had that depth and complexity that...
But anyway, so congratulations to Knob 12 on to the Final 4 in Kansas City.
I feel validated, but at the same time, put some respect on 114.
Yeah.
Freaking Basil Hayden Sr., man, coming out with a Twix.
I already have a couple of these, but just like out of respect, I think I need to just go buy another one tomorrow.
Yeah.
And just sit on my back porch.
So smooth.
Okay. Wrapping up loose ends. Don't have a ton other than, March Madness right around the corner. So potentially going to be putting some wagers on the Patreon, which is in the link below if you guys have any interest in that. Without further ado, man, cheers to you. Cheers to you guys. Thanks for being back.
Which one do I cheers? The winner or the loser?
I went with the winner, just left hand.
That's true. You love that left hand, man.
Well, I don't, sometimes I get clumsy and I don't want to reach in, you know what I mean? So this is just kind of outside leverage, much as like a left tackle.
I feel like I need to make Baker feel better about himself, so I'm going to let him take.